Uh, Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Nitin Shah from Institute of Clinical Hypnosis and Related Sciences. Welcome to our third episode of NGO Talks with Agents of Change. Uh, Let me quickly give you an introduction about what we are doing today. We today are in conversation with Sachin, who is a lead trainer for Samaritans Mumbai. Uh, about ICHARS Support Foundation and about what we are doing with NGO Talks right now. So, ICHARS Support Foundation is a non-profit organization. It's focusing on promoting the mental health case, which means bringing about change through awareness, support, and education. Our work is based on the belief that raising public awareness, educating communities, and equipping every person with the right tools can help us foster optimal mental health. Now, while we are obviously working in the area of mental health, one of our major lines of work is to act as a facilitator for people who are operating in the area of mental health. So we have a lot of support groups for mental health practitioners. We provide training to mental health practitioners, and with NGO Talks, we are also trying to reach out and help other NGOs who are working in the area of mental health to spread the word about the kind of things that they are doing. And that's the exact reason why we have Sachin today with us. So, to hi Sachin, welcome to the third episode of the NGO Talks.
Thank you, Nitin. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for having me here.
Thank you. And Sachin is a lead trainer, as I mentioned, with Samaritans Mumbai. Samaritans is a emotional support helpline. It offers it is completely volunteer based, and it offers helpline for people who are feeling distressed, depressed, or even suicidal. So, Sachin, I've given like a really brief intro to you and to Samaritans. Would you be kind enough to share a bit more about yourself and about Samaritans?
Most certainly. So, as you were saying, Samaritans is an emotional support helpline. We are also, in popular terms, we are called also a suicide prevention helpline or a hotline in that sense. Our role is mainly to provide emotional support through befriending, active listening, empathy to people who are going through distress, as you mentioned, distress. They're going through despair or even thoughts of suicide. And we provide that a non judgmental, confidential, anonymous space for people to express their feelings as to how they are dealing with things, what is going on with them, and complete non-judgment, no matter what their past is, what they are going through, whatever inhibitions, trauma that they may have, to talk about their feelings, about them, and hopefully find some more clarity with themselves, and create that sense of empowerment with them, that they be able to continue with their life, with their with themselves in that sense. So that's our role in society. Um, Samaritans started back in 1968. We were the first branch of Samaritans UK, which in fact started in 1953. And since then, our first helpline started in 1993. So it's been over 25 years that we have been operating our helplines. Currently, we have three numbers. We used to be operational between 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. However, in the lockdown situation that we have, it is the service has been limited between 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Additionally, we also have an email service where people can reach out to that non-judgmental space that I was talking about. They can reach out to us over emails as well, which is obviously accessible 24/7. We reply back within 3 days. Obviously, due to the whole traffic of emails that come in already. The email ID is talk numerical to Samaritans, talk to Samaritans at gmail.com. So, in case anyone would like to reach out to the service,
So I'm just posting it in the comments, Sachin, for a moment. You said talk to.
talk to Samaritans, TALK, the numerical 2,
Mhm,
Samaritans, SAMARITANS at the rate
mhm.
gmail.com.
So I've added that in the comments for any of you who are watching this, and if you would like to reach out to Samaritans, please use that particular email ID. Yeah, Sachin, sorry, you were saying something. Can you please?
So yeah. I mean, so that this is the gamut of service that we are offering currently. Pre-COVID time, we also offered face-to-face. People could walk in fact, or even call us and let us know when they are expected, and we can let them know if we are available. So we had a walk-in service as well, where people could talk about these difficult feelings even face-to-face with us. And our center is based in Dadar. So that's about Samaritans Mumbai. I personally have been involved with Samaritans Mumbai for over 6 years now, where I'm the lead head trainer with them. Prior to that, I was with Samaritans UK while I was doing my master's in UK. I was working with them for about 4 years in two different centers as well. So that's kind of my background with Samaritans NGO in particular.
So, Sachin, before we go ahead, since we spoke about the helpline and you were talking about how there's been a bit of a shift from pre COVID to the current situation that we are in, would you be able to throw some light on that? How Samaritans, apart from the fact that the times have changed a bit, they've gone from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., apart from that, any other change that's happened during the lockout period?
So, I mean, obviously, the whole center accessibility has been reduced. So, it is more of a remote befriending that we do at the moment. The changes, we have managed to adapt to the changes very quick. In fact, we have a really healthy and proactive bunch of volunteers with us, and we were able to reach out and get services in place where we are still able to offer the same service. However, uh, a positive impact has been that because now it has become remote befriending, we are also offering trainings for people across India if anyone is interested in becoming a volunteer with Samaritans. In fact, right now we are going through the third batch. Of two batches have been successfully completed for the training, and now we are doing the third batch of training for volunteers who are going to be part of Samaritans Mumbai. So exciting times for that. We are looking to turn this into a 24/7 helpline soon.
So that's quite interesting. And would you be able to give us a bit more details about the kind of trainings that you offer to the interns?
So again, anybody who's above 18 years of age,
Hmm.
normally the thought process is that you need to be a psychology student or a psychology graduate or any such thing. In our case, that is not needed specifically. Anyone who has the need or the uh, has that awareness about the problems, the mental health issue that is currently plaguing the country or the world for that matter, and wants to make a change in that, has an open, empathetic demeanor, is a good listener, can be trained into becoming a Samaritan's volunteer. Our training is extremely intensive. We look at You're looking at about 6 to 7 days of 6 to 7 full days. So you're looking about 7 hours. Sorry, Nitin, are you there? I think I just lost Nitin here. I'll just wait for him to join back.
I'm really sorry. I was kind of disconnected.
No, no problem. I was like, oh, what happened here? Okay. So I was just saying that
Yeah.
we what was I saying actually?
So you were talking about how people who are from any walk of life who are interested in helping other people and understand
Yes.
the mental health challenges
Yeah.
join Samaritans and work as a volunteer with them, right?
Yes, yes. However, we do have a selection criteria as well, uh, where we are looking to get people who are open to, as many different biases as possible, like the least number of biases or prejudices and all of that. So, being having an open heart or compassion towards everyone in that sense is quite important. Um, Other than that, I was saying the training that we have is 6 to 7 days, 6 to 7 whole days, around minimum of 7 hours, I believe, a day. The training happens, so spread across 2 to 3 weeks, and the training kind of helps people unlearn a lot of things about themselves. It is also a great tool for people to introspect and really get self-aware about themselves. It gives a lot of insight about themselves and how they how being a better listener is helpful, or if even if they should. So can be a really really insightful time for people who do take part in the training.
Perfect, brilliant. And so, how do you go about taking, because some of these people are not from psychology background, right? So
Yeah.
how do you
Mhm.
also take care of the fact that they would be listening to so many things, and then they would have to be able to address it? It also has a potential to take a toll on the volunteers at times, right?
Yeah, of
So
course. I
how
mean,
does that get addressed?
so any mental health professional, or I mean, we do not even consider ourselves as mental health professionals. Let me put it that way. We are volunteers, trained volunteers. We do not consider ourselves to be counselors or psychiatrists or anyone in that form. We respect and we want more mental health professionals to be there, actively present. Ours is almost like a first aid that kind of there when people do not have access to said professionals, and it's an interim relief almost. However, how do we go about it? And it's essentially we do consider our volunteers to be the most important people for to take care. And if we do not take care of our volunteers, then it will be difficult for them to be there for the public in general, right? So we have measures put in place to ensure that the volunteers themselves get the offloading done about the calls, about how they feel, and to ensure that they are not left with any triggers or anything that may have affected them, and make sure that they themselves have talked through their feelings about how the calls were for them, and to ensure that their mental health is also taken care of.
Miswa,
Can you hear me, Nitin? I can't hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
Yep, sorry. So I just lost you in between towards the end. Can you repeat the last two sentences that you said, please?
um, with regards to the volunteers, we do understand that volunteers themselves need to be offloading about their calls, how they feel about the calls, to ensure that they are not left with the triggers or any effects of the call on themselves. They are well trained in that aspect as well, to ensure they do not take away the trigger or any burnout, any stress from the calls with them in their personal life. All of that is taken care of within the center itself.
That's brilliant. So, in fact, like I was talking to you earlier,
Yeah.
there is this particular initiative that we took up recently, which is about visit mental health practitioner, where
Hmm.
we are not just asking people, but actually mental health practitioners to commit that they will visit mental health practitioners, because that's one of the things that we noticed, that there were situations where people were helping others, but they were not seeking help when they should ideally also be seeking help, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
for those of you who are watching us right now, if any of you would like to get more details about that initiative, it's at visitmhp.com. It's basically an initiative where we are asking more and more mental health practitioners to come out, create content, requesting people to visit a mental health practitioner before it's too late. So don't wait till you reach a point where you have an anxiety disorder or a depression or any of the disorders, so as to say. If you feel that you're feeling emotionally uncomfortable today, uh, please go and talk to your friends, your family members, but don't stop over there, because they are not a replacement for a mental health practitioner. And we are also asking mental health practitioners to make that commitment that if they are ever in that situation, they would visit another mental health practitioner. Perfect. So,
In fact, these were
it,
the talks we were having,
yeah, yeah, that's actually
like in our
one
previous
of the
talks
places
as
where I
well.
realized. Yeah. Sorry. So I was saying, so that's brilliant that you're also taking care of that, because I've noticed that that's one thing which a lot of counseling centers and NGOs probably don't take care of, where the volunteers are also supported in terms of mental health. It's a tricky balance to keep in mind.
Yes. So, I mean, we take it very seriously because at the end of the day, our helpline will be only as effective or good as the emotional or mental well-being of our themselves not mentally healthy mentally for the people
True.
who are calling in, because you may have calls of people from all walks of life. I mean, what you're seeing is a number that is available just in the public domain, right? So it could be absolutely anybody who can call from any bubble of life that we can think of. And to kind of deal with these calls, it's not about dealing with these calls, but being there for each of these people in the same way consistently every day. It is a task, you know. However, ensuring that we are all having it doing it in a way that it is a community, a strong bond within the community, and also ensuring that they are themselves offloading regularly, not like dekh lenge ek hafte mein ek baar. No, it is with every day, every shift. We ensure that the offloading and everything happens.
That's very nice. Sachin, uh, is Samaritans purely into helpline, or are there other activities that Samaritans are also into?
So the thing for us is it's not just about being a listening service. We are also proponents of mental health awareness. So any opportunity that we can get, we try to make do outreach activities where there is a stress on people to reach out, just the way you were saying right now. Yeah, you know, don't have to wait for yourself to get a mental illness or anxiety or depression or any of these things. Do reach out and, you know, talk talk it out. However, if you're emotionally, mentally feeling unwell, even for that matter, reach out, talk. And so we do. We have done walkathons in the past. We have taken part in marathons. We do reach out to a lot of corporates, colleges, schools, hospitals, universities, to kind of have such seminars, talks to all different types of community, you know. Stakeholders to ensure that this communication and this awareness is going out constantly. Now we are a bit more active on social media as well, so we do try and put up posts. We are having such conversations with like-minded people to again promote that awareness in itself.
Perfect. That's quite good. Sachin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. So, another thing that I wanted to check with you is, we have already discussed how people can get in touch with Samaritans, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But as an NGO, what are the key challenges that Samaritans faces?
Uh, I think the biggest challenge we can face is volunteers, because at the end of the day, it is about not just attracting volunteers but keeping them. Mumbai, especially where we are, it is such a dynamic society in itself that it's fast paced, it's moving, and people, it's always kind of churning out. So for us to maintain our dream is to be a 24/7 hotline, because we need to be want to be available for people throughout the day and night. However, the challenge being that we need those volunteers to man those hours, and at the end of the day, we are not, nobody is getting paid at the end of the day, right? So to even retain people, yes, I mean we have some fantastic volunteers who have been with us for years now. In fact, our assistant director has been with Samaritans for over 25 years. You know what I mean? So uh, it is we the main challenge is to kind of sustain a 20 make a 24/7 helpline so that we are available throughout, and at the same time, um, making sure the number of volunteers and the turnover is low. I think is the biggest challenge.
Huh. And how do you generally address that challenge?
Do trainings. so if the numbers, we are expecting the numbers to go down, or if we are looking at trying to increase the number of operational hours, all we can do is get people to come in, take part in the trainings, and then select the train out of the trainings, the ones who can be volunteers. Now, because we are in such a niche thing, uh, uh, it's not just about getting people, and like anybody can, there's a strict selection criteria as well. So even if we have a training of, let's say, 15 people, uh, it can also be that we may just end up selecting one or two people for the phone lines, because they need to be that ready to take the calls as well. We don't just take everyone for that matter. We however do believe anyone can be, but are they ready to be, that volunteer as well, is a different story altogether. So we have to make sure um, that there is that synergy between the center and the people applying as well.
Okay.
So it is a
But
long drawn out process.
so, generally speaking, Milab, if I have to ask, when a volunteer joins you, how long on an average do volunteers stay?
So we have put in a clause that if anyone is interested in volunteering, then they need to put in a minimum of 1 year towards the cause. That because we put in a lot of effort behind the training, and making sure mentoring and getting them onto the calls, and all of this is done completely free of charge. There is no cost even for the 6 7 day talking about, completely free of charge, that we offer people. So we kind of expect then in return that they would be staying with Samaritans for at least a year to provide the service.
Okay. All right. And that's basically how the entire churning continues, right? That the trainings happen regularly, and that's how the volunteers stay, and you are able to offer the services that you're offering.
Sorry, I kind of lost you there. Could you repeat?
Sure. So I was saying, so that's basically how the cycle continues, that you guys are able to train more people, they join and they offer
Yeah,
the services, and
yeah.
then obviously for the next batch, the next set of people get trained, and the process continues.
It just, yeah, it's a cycle.
Okay, perfect, brilliant. Any other challenges apart from volunteers that you can think of?
Um, okay, you know, when we are looking at increasing the number of hours as well, there is also funding that becomes a challenge, because to run three helplines, if you're looking at increasing the number of hours, that's the number of minutes. Like, for example, now we are using a digital based phone company like Exotel is what we are using right now. And Exotel has kindly agreed to give us quite a bit of free minutes, because we are an NGO, and the CEO has been very kind with us to provide us that. However, we have to kind of constantly, the number of calls just keep on going up, right? It doesn't go down. And so constantly there is that need for there are different costs associated as well. So the funding kind of becomes a challenge as well that we focus on.
And currently, how does the funding work for Samaritans?
So we are operational under a trust, under Samaritans Mumbai Trust. However, the funding we are taking via right now, there is a funding link that is going on via Keto. We So that is an active link that is going on. However, additionally, when we are doing these outreach activities, people come to know about us. Then they reach out to us and check with us. Hey, if we want to support you money wise, how can we? So we provide our details of our bank, our ATG certificate, and all of that. So to ensure that they can provide the funding to us.
So it's and generally it's what individuals, corporates, how. Well, so if today, for example, if there were people who are watching this right now, and some of them were looking at supporting Samaritans in terms of funding, what
Yeah.
would be the best way for them to connect with you?
We have our admin email. If that is what they are interested in doing, they can get more information on it. We have a Kettle link as well. I'll try and share it with you. Maybe if you're once you're posted it on Facebook Live, I can get my team to put the link on the comment
Sure.
section. Otherwise, we have our email ID samaritans.helpline@gmail.com. So it's Samaritans with an S dot helpline at gmail.com, where even if there is volunteer query, if they have, if they are looking at funding us, if they have just any query in general, which has got nothing to do with their own emotional support. The earlier email ID that I gave, talk to Samaritans at Gmail, that is for people who are wanting to reach out to get emotional support for themselves. However, samaritans.helpline@gmail.com, that is for admin or any other queries that people may have in general. They can reach out to us via that.
Ah, okay, perfect. And you're open for both, right? Individual donations and corporate donations, if there are people who are okay, super. Apart from funding, anything else, funding and volunteers, which becomes a challenge, maybe even on terms of uh, government or operations and so on.
So, I mean, see, mental health in general, I think this not it's not a country issue. I wouldn't like to blame it on India per se. Mental health in general is a neglected or a topic that receives a lot of apathy from general public, from the country, or in general. I think that awareness in itself about how it if there is a way that the stigma of mental health can be taken away, that would be my dream come true. That would be Samaritan's dream come true. I'm pretty sure for ICHR will be it would be the same as well. I mean,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
only people can just look at depression or anxiety or any mental health or just emotional well-being and compare it to a flu or a cold or like any of these regular illnesses that are out there, and how we are able to take out our time and reach out and take help for that. If people are able to take and do that with mental health, mental illnesses or any such issues as well, that would be utopia.
so in fact, that's actually one of the things I. So we were recently before we started the MHP challenge, we were recently having a conversation, and I was initially told that people don't know about mental health, and my understanding right now is slightly different. That there are so many people talking about mental health that
Without knowing
probably
what they're talking about.
the awareness of mental health is already very high. The real
Hmm.
challenge is that in spite of the awareness, people are not willing to visit the mental health professional.
Hmm. Hmm. Because it is always somebody else's problem, right? We don't quite understand that mental. I mean, it's not the case. Just like, I mean, depression, for example, affects almost 8 people out of 20 across the globe. I mean, not just in India; it's across the globe. But now, if you're looking in the pandemic situation, that number must be so much higher, and
Yeah.
there is no tracking available. I mean, when we are saying 8 out of 20, even then, this is the reported numbers. Can you just imagine the number that is out there for people that need to take this help? That is, and the saddest part for me is that the help is available. Yes, there is a lack, or there is the number of professional mental health people in the country is very low. However, these services are available, and even, I mean, instead of when you're feeling low and thinking of it as just कि यार आज mood kharab hai, But instead of thinking that, hey, you know what, I need a mental health break, or maybe, hey, I need to talk about this and get it out of my system, so that I can, because it does take, you can take care of yourself if you're able to be aware of what is happening, not just to your body, because that's what we are, it's tangible. We see anything that is going on with our body. If there is chicken pox, we can see the boils and we know this is chicken pox. But with mental health, there is this whole confusion. ये मेरा मूड खराब है कि actually I'm going through stress. Is it stress affecting? Is it depression? Is it anxiety? कोई और दूसरे पैराडाइम में ले सकता है कि anything they may get scared and मुझे कुछ हो जाएगा, कुछ और ज्यादा है. Whatever the case, reaching out to a mental health professional, the stigma lies there at that point, making that first call to a
Yeah.
counselor. Because कोई लोग मुझे पागल कहेंगे क्या अगर if I reach out and then someone will question you saying क्या तेरा उतना खराब है क्या टाइम, तेरा इतना बुरा सीन है क्या तेरा. People just make it such a big deal of
I
reaching out to a mental health professional, that it in itself is a detractor. So me, you, everybody else, we may be shouting from the top, saying that guys, reach out, reach out, reach out. But at the end of the day, हमें हमारे गिरेबान में भी झांक के देखना है कि ये क्या हम भी कर रहे हैं. Let's
so
also start doing it.
I completely understand. So maybe it will be great if you could also have volunteers from Samaritans creating those small videos, talking to people and asking people to visit a mental health practitioner. Uh, because see, so one of the things that I recognize in the last, so I think we started this. So today is the 40th day of the challenge, right?
Okay.
And it's been funny because for the last 40 days, I've been shooting videos and I've been uploading it every day, asking people to visit mental health practitioner. But when I spoke to other people, other mental health practitioners who've created those videos, their feedback has been very interesting. They've told me that the number of people who are contacting them have at least increased 4 times
Oh,
because
lovely.
now that they are creating these videos, and that's probably where the announcement that I will visit my mental health practitioner even though I'm a mental health practitioner kind of is working, because it's a way of normalizing it that if my mental health practitioner says I can go to my mental health practitioner, then I don't see why I can't visit someone who is there to help
Yeah.
me.
We need to have a movement like the toothpaste industry where 8 में से 10 dentists recommend करते हैं this
Correct, correct,
toothbrush,
correct.
but we should be like 8 में से 10 mental health professionals recommend करते हैं, take mental health professionals help,
Like mental health
something like
professional. Yeah, yeah.
that. So
So perfect.
yeah, it's all about normalizing this. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sachin, coming back to what we were discussing, if there's if there's one reason why people should all know about Samaritans, why should that be?
um because it is safe, because it is something that they can reach out to in the privacy of their own space. It is free. So there is no charge. I mean, if you right now, we know that the telephones and everything, the charges are extremely minimal. You're almost free in some cases where you can make these calls, and you don't even have to. If you're uncomfortable about it, do not have to announce it to anyone. You can just call, and there will be a patient and understanding, non-judgmental listener on the other side. So this could be very well your first steps into taking care of your mental health, and just to get you an idea how it feels like to actually talk about your feelings and get it out, and you can see the benefit of it yourself. And then if you see that, and hopefully that may be a stepping stone for them to reach out to mental health professionals. I know many of them do have this fear that, oh my god, mental health professional, यार 1 घंटा बात करने की पड़ेगा, ये तो मैं अपने डैडी मम्मी से बात कर लूँ या दोस्त से बात कर लूँ, ये बात करने के लिए मुझे पैसे क्यों देने पड़ रहे हैं. At the end of the day, even these guys need to earn money, but also I wanted to kind of let them know that not all the mental health professionals are on the expensive end. There are other services available that are cheaper. They will need to do some research. Also, want to let them know that in your search for a counselor, therapist, any mental health professional, uh, do not be discouraged if the first mental health professional you meet does not connect with you. You do not feel the connect with the first person. Sometimes, just like you take time to choose your family doctor, it's not just the first person you go to and yeah, yahi mera doctor rahega. No, we go and choose through different doctors, and once with the person we connect with, it then becomes our family doctor, right? So similarly, in a mental health professional setup as well, I would recommend people not to get discouraged by their first experience of a mental health professional. Please work the field a bit. How again, I don't want it to come across as an advice or a gyan session there, but it is just a humble request that there will be mental health professionals that will connect with you, specifically with you, that may not connect that well with somebody else as your friend necessarily, but hang in there, find the person you are able to conveniently talk to, and in the meantime use helplines like us, and continue in that journey where you are exploring your own feelings, your own thoughts, how you are feeling basically.
Add this is a request to also the mental practitioners and professionals that while I understand all of us are trying to do a lot of good work, but even for us, learning doesn't really stop. So, if you are a mental health practitioner and if you feel that you have been working with clients and there are places where you are facing certain difficulties, please also be open to learn more, because, and this is what I keep saying, that for you may have another client who will come to you, but for a client who comes to you, if they've had a bad experience, they may not go to another mental health practitioner after that because they've had a
Maybe
bad
that,
experience with you.
that may be their last mental health professional. That may be the end of their mental health journey. You know what I mean? And at the
Correct.
first step itself, and which is extremely heartbreaking, I feel, if they do that.
Yeah, so it's also a request to all the mental health practitioners out there. Please don't stop your journey of learning. It's great that you're helping people, but also remember that there are also new things, new skills that you can continuously develop. Uh, so, Sachin, we spoke about the challenges that you guys face and the way you are overcoming these challenges right now. Any support that people want to provide to you apart from what we have discussed in terms of finances and volunteering work? What kind of support would you be looking forward for?
I think the simplest thing would be be a part of this community that is sensitive to others, is patient with others. Everyone carries their own baggage, right? So if you are gonna talk about mental health as well, if you're gonna talk about any of these things, try and read a bit. Actually, there's so much literature available online, free, that do not just go with the regular social media posts or memes that you come across and just make up what mental health should be like. Are kal subah acha ho jayega sab, and these posts like there is a sun after every night, and instead of that, don't just go for these feel good things that are out there, but actually try and spend some time, read about what is happening, what is mental health, what are these illnesses that people talk about. It's not a simple thing of ki aap pagal ho. No, there are many that it's exactly the opposite. There's so many things to learn, and it is available. I would request people to make themselves aware about these things and promote these good mental health practices. Follow our page, follow your page, and if we are coming across some good posts, share them. I mean, this is not, we are not getting any money from that, to be honest. We just want to ensure that the right message is being shared, and the awareness as well, like you had said earlier, right? uh, Nowadays everyone is a mental health professional, everyone is talking about mental health, but is that conversation really coming from a place of understanding, of some knowledge? Because we can keep saying mental health, but and then we like, next moment we see someone and we like, "Are pagal hai kya?" You know what I mean?
I understand.
So
Yeah.
this kind of defeats the purpose. So we have that sensitivity. Suicidal है तो क्या तू डरपोक है क्या, तेरे को ये suicidal तू suicide के बारे में सोच रहा है? These things, when we are just haphazardly saying such statements, we don't realize how who may be around us, who may be going through these difficult feelings themselves. So be sensitive about that, educate yourself, and help spread this awareness in a more humanistic manner. I think that is all I can ask for people. I mean, we Samaritans as such doesn't need, any. Yeah, these two things were good enough. And in general, like we said, it's our dream that people are more aware about mental health, and that's great enough for us.
And Sachin, do Samaritans also work in collaborations with other NGOs, or is there something that where there's a possibility where if there are other NGOs who want to work with Samaritans, collaborate with Samaritans, how that can be done? Any?
So Samaritans is open for collaboration with people. It is just that because we are not aware of how other NGOs work or the intricacies, and because we have very strong value system, that we are very strict, not just strict, we are very passionate, and we are very idealistic as an NGO. So we don't tend to recommend any other NGO that we do not know, or even if we know, we cannot guarantee the experience of an NGO or a counselor or any particular practitioner, because we just don't know how it will be for anyone else. Um, so we do collaboration work with them, like we are right now having this call with you. This is also a collaboration, right?
True.
But on the other hand, we are also part of an umbrella organization called Befrienders India, now, which in turn is part of Befrienders Worldwide. So there is an international chain of such organizations. Befrienders India has about 16 such centers spread across India. So Samaritans Mumbai is one of those centers, right? These are individual centers following the same principles, similar to Samaritans as well. um, However, like I said, in terms of collaboration, we are completely open for it, because we want to spread the message of mental health awareness across the board. So, if any other NGOs, any corporates or corporations are interested in this, we would love for you to reach out, or let us know, and we will reach out to you and see what sort of collaboration that we can come across. Um, like we do, for example, seminars in corporates and all the other places as well, right? When they contact us, like, hey, we need a session for our office colleagues, where how to be a better listener, or on empathy, or just how to reach out for help. um, so we do such sessions for them as well. And so yes, please reach out, and we can definitely work a way to collaborate.
Okay, perfect. So the reason I asked you that question is one of the things that I realized. So in the last 3, 4 episodes that we have been speaking to different NGOs, I did recognize that some of the challenges are common in terms of volunteers and funding, right? And yet, because each of these individuals are working independently, the probably the kind of outreach that we can have when we work collectively is not there as much as when we are working independently and individually. So it's something that could be worked upon where these NGOs can come together, then work together. Because and NGOs also are not, so while they're all working in mental health capacity or mental health area, they're not actually doing the same set of work. Their line of work still distinctively varies at times, while it may still be within the umbrella of mental health.
Yes, that's completely true, and everyone has their own set of principles and values. Some can be intervention based, some can be like us. We are more on the listening and befriending way. We are not into the intervention part. So the values can be quite challenging as well. However, I definitely think there is a lot of scope. I mean, in fact, we, through our social media handles as well, we have been reaching out to different other organizations to see, hey, we have been going through your posts, we have done research on you guys, and we really think that there is synergy between us. So maybe we can come together and come up with these talks, come up with these awareness programs, or any such thing. um, and yes, ek se bhale do se bhale char, so the more the merrier. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
We are completely
Um,
up for it.
Good. So I'm going to take you up on that. I think I'll probably speak with you after the session is over in terms of what we
I'm
can do
looking
and
forward
how
to
we
it.
can work.
I really hope so. Yes.
Perfect. So Sachin, in terms of your personal life, Ever since you have been with Samaritans and you have been doing this work, any personal changes that you have noticed that you have experienced?
Um, so again, Samaritans' values are something that I also hold very personally dear to me. Um, uh, however, if you were to ask, from our training batches of people who have been with Samaritans, you would you would hear from them how life changing it can be. You would have people saying that, hey, you know what, I've started talking more nicely to my parents because I just realized how impatient I have been in the past, or how does it feel like when you are talking like this, or just in general, people become a bit more self-aware. And I think that is quite priceless, if you ask me, where you're able to see yourself, look at yourself, and are able to not just keep reacting to things that are happening, but are able to manage the things that are happening with you. That is what is currently most of the time happens, right? Something happens and we react to it. There is no thought that goes behind it. There is no thought that happens afterwards. Hey, how was that reaction? And we normally tend to be like, "ये मैंने react किया है." उसके बाद then we end up with guilt or any other feelings, and it's just a cycle that keeps on going. However, through self-awareness and introspection, you're able to actually see how this all of these reactions, behaviors are actually normal. And even the feeling of guilt, sorrow, suicide, any of these things, feelings that one gets, are also normal. And let's start talking about it. And so yeah, uh, that's pretty much my take on it.
Okay, perfect. And any future plans in terms of Samaritans? Anything that you are planning for going forward apart from what you have been doing?
So 24 right now, our only one target is to become a 24/7 helpline. And that is where all our energy is going in. So even our social media guys, our just our phone befrienders, our training team, our entire induction team, all of us, we are really focusing on just getting as many volunteers, training them, and also maintain the standards of it, because we can't just do it in a lot, and quantity is not what we are looking at also. So we have to make sure that the quality is also looked at along with the quantity. um, so right now our main focus is to become a 24/7 helpline and be
Okay,
available for the society. Yeah.
perfect, brilliant. And in the end, if you have to give one message to people in general, what would that message be apart from whatever we have discussed?
Talk. There's absolutely no other thing. I mean, just if only if you're going through a tough time, talk about it. If you're feeling bad, talk about it. You're angry, talk about it. Don't just show anger, but express it in a way that, hey, I am feeling angry, or and this is what I'm going through. Talk about it. Try and process these things. And yeah, that would be a bright new world for us, all of us.
Perfect, brilliant. So thank you, Sachin, for being there with us today. I hope you found whatever we are doing interesting right now, this conversation.
Yes,
And I
yes,
really
it
hope
was brilliant.
Thank you. And I really hope it helps you reach out to a lot more people. Obviously, we will be sharing the details and everything again on different platforms, and we'll be sharing the videos. Uh, for those of you, for if you know of some of the people who were not able to catch us live today, we would be uploading this tomorrow on the YouTube channel, and it would be available over there also. Uh, in the end, before we end, I would request all of you to please seek help if you need help. I promise, I commit that if I ever need to visit a mental practitioner, not just because I'm having an illness or a disorder, but because probably something has happened and I'm just feeling low, right? So I promise and I commit that I'm going to consult my mental health practitioner. I hope all of you do that too. And Sachin, it would be great if you could make a similar announcement so that it kind of becomes easier for people to remember it, reinforce it, and also make more announcements like these.
So again, as Nitin said, I commit as well to reach out and seek out help whenever I'm feeling low or down or bad or angry or sad or any any feeling in general. If I feel that, especially if I'm not just feeling it for 10-15 minutes, right? If I'm seeing that in 1 2 3 days and the gentle feeling of low or feeling down or anything is not going away, the cloud is not moving away, no matter what physical issues, yes, there are a lot of physical issues, tangible issues that are going around right now, and yes, they are taking a toll on us. In Especially for that, if there are such chronic stressors around us, and there is job loss, there is the family, friends around us who are falling sick and all of that, so these stressors are happening, please talk, please reach out, talk to a mental health professional, talk to Samaritans. I promise, I commit that I will do the same, and I hope you do too.
Perfect. And all of you who are watching it know that if you need to connect with someone, Samaritans are there. You've spoken to other NGOs earlier. ICHARS is there. So please feel free to connect with any of us. And I hope we would be able to help you as much as we can.